Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon and good morning, if in that matter, if you're joining from which particular part of the world. I really welcome you all to this webinar series, which we do normally from Project Management Institute perspective from the UAE chapter side of the things. Today, we are going to also start the new year, the first webinar with us, and the fresh start will bring us the fresh ideas and the fresh set of guest speakers, which we've been always been trying to bring value to all of you, to all of the people or the distinguished guests and the members who are joining us from around the world, not only from UAE at the time. And I've seen that people have come from not only in Middle East in this webinar, but also around the place from Middle East and African region or Asia, as well as from North America as well at times. So we are here again. It's an absolute pleasure for our PMI UAE chapter to welcome all of you. And I see the people are yet joining in. I started seeing the message flowing in the chat. It was really great, and gratitude to all of you. An absolute pleasure to connect with this global community of experienced project professionals who are joining the chapter webinar with all of us. Happy New Year and wish you a great success in 2026. And welcome to the PMI UAE chapter. If you're joining it first time, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Anchal Chaube, and I'm your host and moderator for today's session. We have this webinar series with a particular perspective of bringing the ideas to all of us in the table and meet those ideas in action and to make that action in the form of experiences that can inspire all of us there. And I think with that, behind the scenes as well, I have the couple of my people, Mr. Amir and Mr. Pratish, who is joining us, who's making and taking care of the Zoom webinar session at the back of the curtains there as well, making sure that we are not falling short of any resources and running this webinar experience as smooth as possible. Today's knowledge sharing session, which we are going to bring and start the year with it, I'm seeing that a lot of people are really enthusiastic about the topic. And the topic we all know is that building our first AI agent. And that's really something trending. And all the AI hype cycle is all over places. And I think nothing better than starting the first webinar on this particular topic with us. We are going to ponder with the high level of AI agents here. We are also going to understand what's the differentiation between autonomous AI, LLMs, and so on and so forth, the jargons around AI areas, and why they matter. And more importantly, how you as a project professionals and basically the sometimes people are company owners themselves here can begin in building their own agents there. The focus will be on practical examples that show that's how the low-code, no-code tools like n8n agents can really come to the real value and real life to all our personal and professional scenarios, what we are handling as a project professionals. Some housekeeping notes before we jump into the topic we are going to start this particular session for almost near about 75 minutes or so here. And we will start with a brief introduction for the chapter. For the people who are very new to the chapter, if they're joining us first time, it will be a really good quick reminder to them as well, and followed by our main presentation, which will be done by our guest speaker over here. After the presentation, we are going to host an interactive Q&A, and please post your topic-related questions in the Q&A panel, which we are already opened up over there. And simultaneously, you can post your thoughts and your feelings and expressions in the chat meanwhile. But if you want to pick up your questions, please try to put it in the Q&A section. I'm going to grab them out and put it to the esteemed speaker once the presentation is over there. And feel free to share your reflection in the chat, by the way. And then presentations is definitely going to bring you 2 PDUs if you attend it out as a part of the gesture over there. And with that in mind, let's begin with a snapshot of the PMI UAE chapter and the volunteers like me and the others who drive our community forward over there. So allow me to share my screen quickly, and then let me take you to the chapter introduction. Let me make it a full screen with us. Here you go. So we are doing this as a part of the PMI, Project Management Institute, which has been formed by, of course, the group of project working managers way back in 1969 in US. Now, after 15 years, we are still in that particular situation where we go to the PMI standards, we understand its gold standards and treat it as a source and resource for all our project management related stuffs what we want to carry out in our work and the professional areas as well. It is one of the largest non-profit organization, but again, more importantly, is globally recognized and serves as a training and accreditation to a lot of communities. It also works with the sponsors and publish research papers, thought leadership, and knowledge content. Coming to the local chapter perspective, we as a UAE chapter has a vision to empower and influence the individuals with the innovate project economy principles to turn your ideas into the reality. With the mission statement goes to disrupt and create value-driven opportunities to all our chapter members and the partners to become agile, innovative, productive in the platform for the growth of project economy. Some chapter insights are in front of you. Of course, some pictures are a bit old at the moment, which we're going to revise it, but chapter is run by 100% by volunteers. 4,000 plus active members is a really a good feat number to achieve from this chapter growth perspective. And we are among the top 5 chapters in the PMI EMA region. And our focus is to bring the leading industry and trends in front of you to help you out in your professional growth, to create your networking engagement much more resourceful, to help you out to get into certification journey and even the journey of the mentorship which we are seeking forwards there. We depend on all of you to make our chapter as engaging and as invigorating as much possible. If you can contribute and engage during the activities and events, which we normally keep on doing every quarter, once a quarter, the face-to-face event, and these webinars as well, which we do 2 times a month almost, except in the month of Ramadan that way. This is the board of directors, and the recent changes, of course, have come up live now. And now new president is Ms. Amina Abdul Rahim, and rest of the board of directors who have been newly come into the board as well in their different respective functions to help Amina to carry this legacy forward with that. So we welcome to all of the new president and the board of directors in their respectful positions, and we look forward to their contribution and their constant beckoning like to us. We had the chapter member benefits with us. Of course, we start with networking benefits, learning and knowledge sharing, career growth, and events. And this webinar we are doing as a part of diversified webinar section as per the event part of the pillar over there. We have some initiatives which were taken up as a member corner and spotlight, where we give opportunities to all the members to share their experiences and their thought leadership with the chapter editorial board. And then, of course, you can, if you're a chapter member, you want to get your voice opinionated, please write to newsletters at pmiua.org, and we are happy to publish your articles and thought process as per the different social media channels there. If you want to know more about the chapter activities, engaging what happens there, what's the new upcoming thing, I think you are definitely welcome to go to the pmiua.org's website and the rest of the social media handles, which of course we are everywhere, from the starting from the WhatsApp groups, which we've created as a community-based engagement on the respective functions or the respective particular industry basis groups, as well as the YouTube channel, where we publish all these webinars as a recordings, so that if anybody want to repeat this particular sessions, they can definitely go and do the revisit to that YouTube channel. We are also active in LinkedIn and Facebook, and then rest of the email addresses are also published for your particular help in that particular segments. With that matter, I would like to stop this presentation over here, and then we'll jump on to the topic. And I see how many members are there. Let me just have a quick look. Okay, so I'm seeing it here, number 120 or something like that. And I'm quite hopeful that some of the members will join us during this session as well. Meanwhile, let me introduce our guest speaker today, and I'm really heartful and grateful to him. He's my very good friend and very good senior, and I've been working and seeing him in different occasions in my conferences as well, Mr. Jacob Mathew. He has been working in UAE for the past 27 years, so being a legend and being a veteran in the industry of the Middle East. And he has been working in Aramco's Trona refinery a year prior. He has worked at Big Four consulting firms over 18 years and is currently working in the government sector. His key expertise lies in strategy, policies, and innovation. Of course, he has been the beacon light around centralizing and managing the IT functions across multiple countries. He's been expert into cybersecurity, setting up the management for shared service, also cloud-based solutions and offshoring to the third party. Meanwhile, he is also holding several current certifications, of course, to name a few: CISSP, PMP, and ITIL. He also did the cloud certification and is a also certified architect in Microsoft as well, and then being awarded with several facilitation of awards under the category of CIOs and CISOs, which I am also being fortunate enough to see the witness about it. And I think with that in mind, I think I'm quite really grateful and helpful to the Mr. Jacob that I'm your moderator tonight, and really is my privilege to hand over the stage to you, Mr. Jacob.
Thank you, Anshul. Really, really thank you. And thank you to the PMI UAE chapter for this privilege. Before I start, I just wanted to commence by just, let me share my the slide deck. Okay, so as Anshul mentioned, I know Anshul very well and the team at quite a few volunteers and directors at PMI UAE chapter. I've been a proud member of PMI UAE chapter for over 8 years, and I have been receiving a lot of information and advice from various speakers. And so I am a fellow PMI chapter project professional. I'm not going to sell you anything. It's just a way of paying back to the community, which I've received vastly from. So so this is where we are. So again, we have project managers from various work streams. So if you're a project manager and you're not in technology, it doesn't matter for this seminar. So don't get switched off. You can build your first agent. So this is what I wanted to share. So moving on to the second slide. As I said earlier, you don't have to have any programming skills, any coding skills. You just need $5 of spend to be able to do this, creating this AI agent. So I will come to agents and AI agents later on, but basically as project management professionals or program management professionals, realistically today we have a lot of things we do. All of us do, I'm sure. So again, like in my own personal instances, I'm running a program of 2 massive projects running into millions of dirhams and resources and things like that. So it's a very hectic and long days, a lot of commitments. We need to manage risk. We need to do a lot of activities. And so how agents can help us, and that's the whole point, is it could help us to save time. It helps us to automate a lot of our things that we do, like booking meetings, booking following up with people, and especially when we're starting new project and we want to look at historical data and we want to see how, so all that can be analyzed quickly through agents. We can also manage risk very effectively through agents. So this is where agents can help us. Now, if even apart from that, today is a lot of programs and software which we use, they are coming with agents inbuilt or incorporated into it already. So as a project professional, if we know about agents and know how they work, then it will make it easier for us to be able to customize it to make sure it actually adds value. So that's the objective of this agent, of this webinar rather. So again, why do we know how to build an AI agent? So one is to integrate, as I alluded in. So you have a HR system, you have a financial system, you need to get the resources for the project, and you want to do it automated. So that's where integration of using AI agents to integrate, you need to tailor it to your environment. You want to make sure that the agents work properly. If there are any issues, you need to be able to troubleshoot agents. So as project managers, without depending on technology, if we know some basics, it would help. But that's the whole point of this exercise, to be able to understand AI agents, understand how they operate, and then be able to actually use them effectively in our day-to-day life. So I said day-to-day life, so it's not just at work. We can use it at our personal lives, with our families. So even if you're not a project manager, in the sense that maybe, or you want to share the details with your family or with your children, agents can still be used. So it's quite easy to do, and all we need is basic computer skills. You need to be able to use your computer, which we all doing, and that's it. We don't need to have anything special skills here. Now, so let's move on. Again, in this slide and in this presentation, I'm referring to some technologies, but you don't have to use the same technology. So you will see me talking about n8n or Google. You don't have to use it. It's just an idea. We're just giving you the tools how you could run it, or you could use any other tool you want to. So what are AI agents? So again, this is not a technical definition. This is a definition for any of us to understand. So you could view AI agent as just as a smart assistant. So you just type what you want to do, and it will get things done from everybody, and it will do the processing for you. Again, we'll come into a little more details about AI agents following up. So here, I just wanted, this is a time now we have some questions where we can brainstorm. So there are three of them. So the first one is AI agents and automations. So as my friend Anshul talked about automations and agents. So if you could just put in the chat, are the agents and automations, are they the same? Or are they different? What's the difference? What do you think it is? So you could put that in the chat. I'll give you about a minute to put your answers, your queries. So we'll come to the answers later on. But I just wanted to, it's your time to participate and to give your opinion of how agents and automations, are they the same, are they different? So let's go ahead and go through that. Thank you, Samaya. Yeah, there are different. Yes, correct. Thank you, Maneksha. Brilliant. Okay. As you can see, a number of you have already participating. We'll come to the answers a bit later, but anyway, let's wait for a few more seconds. So automations, thank you for all, but interest of time, I just move on. So automations is something which has a fixed input and fixed output. What do I mean by that? For example, if I'm going from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, and I'm going at say 6 a.m. I want to know what's the weather like in origin, what will be the situation, what will be the destination weather, what's the source weather. So all that you can do an automation where the data will be fed into my inbox just before I leave, or I get a WhatsApp, and that every working day it will just come through. So it's fixed input, fixed output. The AI agents are a bit more different. They have more intelligence in it. That's why it's called artificial intelligence, where it can process and we can give a query, we can give any request, and agents can understand it based on the trained data and actually execute queries and give the output. So you don't have to, we'll come to that in the demo. We'll show you more about that. The second is, this is a bit more tricky about agents and LLMs. Are they the same or are they related to each other? Are they independent of each other? So what do you think? Please do contribute and put your comments in the chat. Thank you, Kash, for your comment. Anybody else? So LLMs, okay, Manuel, thank you for your contribution. So LLMs, as we all know, are relatively new. They came about in about 3-5 years back, 2022, I believe, November. Agents have been there from artificial intelligence have been there from 1950s. But basically the LLMs, and we'll cover that in later of this session. LLMs are the brain of agents. So, and agents can work independently of LLMs. But so that's where it is. So agents can work independent of LLMs. LLMs help agents to run tasks, and they are the brains of agents, but they're not directly related to each other. In the sense, they're not dependent on each other. And the last one is AI agent versus agentic AI. Benny, thank you for your contribution. AI agents versus agentic AI. So this is the last question I have for the session. So if you could please think about what would be the difference between AI agents and agentic AI. I can see that some of you have already started to reply. Thank you. So AI agents we just covered. So how agentic AI, what's the difference is it has autonomous capability. So not only will it run, I mean, not only can we query it, but it will execute tasks based on its own anonymous. It has the ability to act anonymously. They don't have to autonomously. I mean, it doesn't need to wait for human prompt for each and everything. It looks at the data and acts automatically. So that is the difference between automation, I mean, AI agents and agentic AI. So as I was saying, so the entire this entire slide deck, it's available. You can just reach out to me or to the PMI each chapter, and this will be made available. And we also, the recording, as Anchal said, is also available. Yeah, so just, it's just a session to help you to build your first agent without getting too technical about it. So what is n8n? So n8n is an open source workflow automation tool. So open source doesn't mean it's free. So that's why it's not free. But open source means the source code is available. We can see it. We can improve it. So there are tools. Open source. One of the world's most famous open source program is Linux. The program is readily available open source. The idea is that we can improve it, we can work together about it. So n8n is one of number of tools that can be used for creating agents. Why I've used n8n for this demonstration is because it's simple to follow. You don't need to be a technical geek. And it has a lot of capability to integrate with systems out of the box. So you can do plug and play. I'll come to that in the demo. Where if you have widely used services like Microsoft or Google and other tools, YouTube and things like that, you can just directly integrate it without just drag and drop. So for services, even which doesn't, is not really common, we could use something called APIs. So apologies for all the technical team members here. But APIs are basic. You can take two systems, A and B, and APIs is something that allows A and B to speak to each other. It's like a bridge between two applications or two systems. That's a very simple, non-technical way of understanding what API. So n8n we can integrate. So if you're using Microsoft at work, or you're using Google Gmail at home, or different systems, all can be integrated out of the box with n8n. But if you have custom applications, whether at work, then you might need to use APIs, which allow the n8n and the application to speak to each other. So what are the components of an AI agent? So components of the AI agent is the brain, the memory, and the tools. So all of you who have been listening might have already understood that the brain is basically the LLM. And what's the memory of the agent and why do we need it? So the reason behind it is that whenever we query the LLMs, large language models, there is cost involved. So if you use memory, then you can save your query, you can save your data. So the system will fetch the data only if required. So it will allow save money. It allows you to save money. So that's why we use memory. And the tools are basically the how we can integrate n8n with any outside any other application. So this is about n8n, but as I told you before, it's true for every single agent. There's a brain, which is a large language model where we give some clear, simple text or commands, and the agent will execute it. First, it will fetch it in the memory and then use tools to integrate with different systems. Again, we'll show you how that works later on. So now we are going to about actually getting into the nitty-gritties. We're going, what do we need to run our agent? To run an agent, we need an n8n account. We need a Google account. OpenAI obviously is ChatGPT, but it requires API account. So API account is different from the normal ChatGPT. API, as I told you, is how we can integrate n8n with other tools. And so API will allow us to integrate n8n with the LLM. And we need $5 to create a host agent. So here, this is how we go about it. This, as I told you, the slide deck will be shared. So this is the website. So when we go to the n8n, which is mentioned in the slide deck, we see this is the, and then we go about to get started for free. And then it will load your website. You can put your details here. It will ask for your email and your name, address. You don't have to use company. If you want to use personal, you can, minus on a personal. And here is the thing, it gives you 14 days. So after this demo, after you're going through this presentation, and you watch the video, which I'll come to shortly, and you're comfortable, you can go ahead and create this n8n. So you can use it for 14 days without any cost. So today's session, which I am doing, is again using this demo account. So 14 days, you can create a number of agents, and you'll understand how it works. And you can use it. So this is the whole purpose. So if you want to use it in your professional life, in your personal life, this is how you can use this tool to create them. So going back to the slide deck. So this is the website, and again, the full entire slide deck is available. You can reach out to me by LinkedIn or You can reach out to PMI UAE and we will share that. And that's the 14-day trial we talked about. Now, we need also Google account. Why Google? Because the purpose of this demo is to use n8n to create meetings. Like create a meeting, edit a meeting, delete a meeting. And I've used Google account. Why Google? Because Google supports agents very well, actually, compared to Microsoft. But Microsoft is more complicated. And because not everybody in this meeting are technical geeks, as I told you, you don't need to be an expert. Even a normal person can create agents. So that's the whole point. So if you're a civil engineer, I'm a civil project manager, you're into you're building, you're creating buildings, managing building projects, or you're laying a road. You may not be technical geek, but you can still create agents. And it's very important, I believe, that you understand how agents work, because I believe that AI and agents are going to grow and the deployment is going to increase. And knowing about these agents, these tools, I believe will be a good point, good for your career. And I thank once again the UAE chapter for facilitating this session. So again, now next we move on to the OpenAI API account. As I mentioned earlier, API is how we connect the OpenAI, which is the LLM, with n8n, which is the tool we're using to create the agent. Now, I'm not an ambassador of any product as I covered it. You don't have to use OpenAI. You can use Claude, you can use Bard, you can use Gemini, you can use whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just to show you, you can use any tool here. It's just for it. Objective again is for you to understand what are agents and get familiar with them and be able to use them whether at work or at your personal life without any issues. So now we're going to the OpenAI. Yeah, this is that once you log into this website, which is the platform.openai.com. This is different from the ChatGPT as I covered earlier. And you get sign up. So once you go here, you can, I've signed in, but if once you, let me sign up. But before I do that, so these are the models and which I'll allude to later. But if you go here, these are all the ChatGPT models and there are a number of them. What are the differences? The newer models have more capabilities. They are more complex. They have more. They're more complex, and they're more expensive. So what happens is every time we do a query, and this is I'm going off the script a bit, but these are the models. This is the query. So every time we give a text, we give a command, or we raise a query on any GPT, those are all tokens. They are processed as tokens. So this is the cost per token. So we have to pay, for example, here we have to pay $1.75 if he's using GPT 5.2, whereas if you go for GPT 4 mini, or you can use 0.60 cents. Or this is the one I use, GPT of mini, it's 15 cents. And why that is cheaper is because they're less capability, but for our demo, that's more than enough. So this is why we cover, these are the different models. So going back to slide deck. So we saw this, we saw the OpenAI in the Gemini of GPT-4. Now billing. So here, once you signed up, you'll be able to see I'll just show you the billing. So you see, this is where obviously I'm not going to show you, but once you log in, you create an account and you pay your $5, you have $5, and every time you process a token, it will deduct the money from it. So this is my account, and this is the API key. So we'll come to that now in the slide deck. So billing information. So we have to enter our credit card details to get $5. That's the minimum you need to spend with OpenAI. Now, before going to API keys, I just wanted to cover something. So here, as you can see, you can. So when you're going to sign up with the platform, I've already signed up, obviously. You can you can sign up using Google account, Apple account, or Microsoft. And I would always strongly recommend to use one of these than doing a sign up of your own. So if you see here, I'll show you what I meant by it. Sorry. So when you're going here, this is what I was alluding to. You can enter your email address, or you can use one of these like Google account, Apple, or Microsoft. I personally would always advise you to use one of these. But in my demo, I've used my email address because it's a demo. But if in a real size scenario, if you use that, it adds it's better cybersecurity because you won't create username and passwords in a number of sites. It's a better cybersecurity control. Now we go to API keys. So we covered earlier that there are two different when we have two different systems and we wanted to speak to each other, we use APIs. Now, for the system to speak to each other, we need to use an API key. So once you signed up, and if you go here, you have these API keys. So these are whatever. So every time, so when you want to create a new API key, we can call it, say, test or something. And it just, and when you, sorry. So when we create a key, it will give you, okay, from GitHub. So whenever we create a, whenever we create a, this is a very important point. Whenever we create an API key, it will give you this key only the first time. So you have to you have to copy it and save it carefully. You will not be able to see this key again. And again, you will not be able to use it because it's too big, don't worry. But this is why we have to take it when we are going to actually go about creating your agent. We need to make sure we save the key carefully once we create it. So again, so every time, this is some cybersecurity tips. So every time we use agent, we are build. So it's very small amount if you're using the correct LLM. But if you're not using it, we need to deactivate it. Again, how to do it, I've covered it in a video, which I will show you a little later. So this is now we come to the demo of, this is an agent which I've created. So before doing the demo, what does it do? So this is the first component is where we give an input as a chat. This is the agent which I have created. It passes this to the chat GPT, because that's the brain. And that will process the request, store it in memory, and then this, because I'm using it to create, edit, and delete bookings, calendar entries, this is how it will pass it through these tools. This is a very simple demo. So what we do is it will do that. So I'm going to actually demonstrate the creating or running the agent. So this is the agent. I'm just refreshing that. You see now, so basically this is the chat, and I'll show you what happens. So for example, create, and before I do that, I'll also show you my calendar. So if you see here, I don't have any booking. This is a demo account. I don't have any entries. So it's 7 p.m. This is the 15th of Jan. That's today. I don't have any So I'm going to create a booking for 9 p.m. I'm giving a create a meeting with John Doe for 9 p.m. today. So here, this is where you can see it reads it uses LLM, it passes it, and then it detects, and then it creates the agent. It will show you how the workflow happens and that it's executed. So if you now go to the chat, see it has the entry has been created. Now this is a very simple demo. We can put a title, we can put a lot of things, but again, I just wanted to keep this simple. Now going here, let's try to modify this. Now we'll say change the meeting John Doe to be at 10 p.m. today. So again, it reads it, it gets it, creates the event, and basically updates it and deletes the old one. And if you go now to the calendar, it's moved to 10 p.m. So, and last but not the least, we'll give a command to, let's now delete the, I'm not sure what happened, just to refresh it. So it's now gray and you go here, the meeting has been deleted. So this is some basics of this processing. Now, with the time I've been allocated, it's not possible to do the exercise step by step, but there's a video there. Again, you can go there and watch it where I go then through the entire process of creating the agent, of how to create it, how to configure it, and you could use that. So it's freely available if you can download it. But this is what I have from my session. So if you have any questions, and I'm conscious of the time which I've been able to keep. So I'm over to you, Anshul, for any questions or any feedback from the participants. You're mute, Anshul, if you're speaking.
Okay, I'm back now. Thanks for giving me that handover back. I'm seeing that you have shared the YouTube link. I believe the audience can definitely go and look at that as well. I'm seeing the questions are coming. The presentation video will be available definitely in the YouTube channel for PMI chapter. You can definitely go back and look at that to go through this session in that case. But yeah, I think the original source of learning to learn this, what was your original source? The question is to you, Jacob, sir.
Yeah, so source was I went through a number of. So my objective was to try to help people because I've been receiving and receiving. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought AI and agents are very important. So I wanted to look. So I went through I was it's more it was mainly self-inspired, to be honest, but I did refer to others, but it was something I wanted to make it very simple for our project professionals to use. and understanding and respecting that not every one of us is technical, and I deliberately kept it as very non-technical and very simple to follow.
Absolutely. So, just out of curiosity, in the real situation of your personal and professional life, Jacob, so how you're looking at this? You, of course, we are seeing there's a plethora of the tools available throughout. How you are making use of this, in which capacity, if you make it enlighten us a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very excellent question, Anshul. Thank you. So in my work environment, unfortunately, I work for a very secretive government, so we cannot use this at work. But I use
Oh,
it at in my personal life. I use agents extensively, and basically it's to because there are lots of applications. For example, there are lots of emails that come. So my agent, when I get up, it's already goes through my emails, my live emails. It will summarize it. It will prepare the responses, the draft for me to,
mhm.
so I don't have to spend a lot of time going through, in our inbox, even on a personal, there are so many emails that come. So this my agent does that uh, any automatically, and that saves me a lot of time. That's what I do pragmatically every day, Anshul. And
Nice, nice.
work-wise, if I did not have a restriction, I could have done the same. But in the
Mhm.
government, we have to, we have some things to follow. Yeah.
True. I'm just taking a bit liberty out of the time over there. But yeah, again, I think Abdullah has posted out just a question. What is the security concern? Of course, I was waiting for this to come in. I was restricting myself to bring this out, but why can't you use it at the work? But that's a different story because of the nature of your employer and your contract. That's different story. But any security concerns over the top of it while agentic AI is now grooming and going to the workplaces in shapes and forms?
Yeah, we could. Even in our workplaces, we do use AI agents, but they don't we don't for good reasons allow employees to use it.
Oh, okay.
And obviously that creates another cybersecurity challenge, I'm sure.
Okay.
But so what are the cybersecurity concerns is there are, as I told you, when we're creating agents, we have
Mhm.
option of to create the accounts. And the accounts need to be created securely. The
Mhm.
second is we talked about the cost of
Mhm.
running LLM queries. And if you're scheduling activities or doing things, and you share your API keys or it's not securely saved, then we could have cost overruns. There could be leaked credentials. So these are some of the things we need to look after, Pancho.
Okay. By any chance, have you, unfortunately, in situation, have you faced this situation where the leak has happened, or have you faced this
Uh,
situation ever in the real?
no, no,
Not
no,
yet.
no.
Good, fortunate enough. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Another question is from Mr. Jassine, is that were there any disruptions or security situation that noticed over the years with the use of agentic AI in cybersecurity world? A bit of repetitive question, but I think I covered it. Any disruptions or security situation you have noticed with the past experiences?
I mean, yes, we obviously hear about them quite regularly, but not. I've not experienced any personally myself. No.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Um, from the perspective of the PPT, I think, as you said, that definitely this PPT can be shared, and we can share it with you guys for the people who are asking for this PPT. And uh, can you share one slide of learning sources and prepare one slide for different type of sources, like just you mentioned, n8n and other tools? I think people are looking for that to share with them. Is that possible by any chance?
yeah. I can share. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So as sorry, Angel, as I was mentioned, the whole objective of this exercise is to make you the chapter members and visitors to be comfortable, and fellow project professionals to be comfortable AI agents. and reading a lot of theory or watching some video is
Hmm.
good, but we need to create yourself. You need to get familiar with it. You need to create it, see how it works, and it's you need to dive into it. And so this is the whole objective. So my objective and my commitment to you is, if you have gone through this slide and you go through the video, you can reach out to me. My details are there. You can book a 30-minute slot. Again, as I told you upfront, there's no cost. It's just a value add which I'm doing. So you can reach out to me, book your time, and I'll help you one on one. And that's a commitment I'm making. I want you to be successful. I want you to be able to be able to create agents, understand how it operates. So when somebody talks to you, although you may be in construction or you may be in other project areas, you can still, or in civil or whatever, you are still, you know what agents are, you understand what it is. You've created some agent of your own. So that's the objective. I mean, this is just a payback. So you need a
Hmm.
slide deck, connect, I'll share it, or you can go through the chapter. The video is available, and the link to the video is there. The video recording, I think, will be available in the chapter. And if you've gone through this presentation, you've gone through the video. The video is I've gone very simple, step by step. But if you've gone through both of it and you still need help to create it, I'm there to help. You just reach out. No costs. There's nothing here. I'm not selling anything. It's just payback to the chapter and to the project management community.
Fantastic. I think that's a really humble gesture. And I think very inspiring that you are doing it as a part of payback to the community back. And I think that's really shows up the real sparks of that, how the leaders of the age really need to really reflect them out to the societal terms. I think I'm still waiting for some questions to come. We've still some time left. If you people have any questions which is keeping your brains around it, any questions around agents or agentic are welcome. We will definitely try to pick it up. Meanwhile, I think one fact which is of course looming around that you must have heard already, everybody, but I think the most of the people still uh, in the non-tech world are considering AI as the typical form of a chatbot. Still, still the age has yet to step it over the chatbots and those text box where we are typing and we are speaking and we want it to just reflect it back in the form of any kind of responses. But I think the idea of sharing agentic by Mr. Jacob is that initial step, where still it is in the form of chat bot where we are putting the question in the form of getting action done, but we are moving towards a point where all this will be not done by a particular human in the workforce professional, and the agentic manager can manage this action steps, and then these agents can do the work for that AI manager to do those tasks and report it back as a your professional ally or your companion or your aide, whatever you want to take the help or the one to reflect it out. Any thoughts on this? Am I on the right path where we're going towards, Mr. Jacob?
Correct, absolutely, Angela, perfectly, and that's an excellent point, Angela. And it's actually in that's what is happening today. So a number of companies, especially in technology space, they have humans and AI agents working hand in hand. There are quite a few in UAE, in Abu Dhabi, happening, and there's also, again, I don't want to get into specifics, but it's also used at very senior level government leaders in Abu Dhabi, in UAE,
Mhm.
AI agents. So it's there. It's not going to come. AI and AI agents are there, and as project management professionals, using AI agents and AI would help us to save time, make us more efficient at work, rather than just, as Anshul mentioned, not just as a chatbot, but it can do a lot. And I thought of doing a lot more, but I wanted to
Yeah.
keep it non-technical, and so anybody, any project manager from any sphere would be able to follow. So I kept it as simple as I have.
Sure. We saw two questions popped up now, Mr. Jacob. So one is that, again, coming to the point of privacy this time. So especially since you just showcase as example over here that agent can access your personal email, calendar, task. What is the data privacy risk around from the perspective of this all?
Yeah, correct. There's always a risk, and especially, and for me, in my case, this is at my personal email, so that I mean, obviously, that's my decision. But in the corporate world, that's a bit of a risk, a typical risk, and also that there are concerns about it. So that's why the implementation of AI and agents needs to be done carefully. Again, implementation is a different session altogether because it depends on, in the corporate world, we need to have a data, we need to have a data cleansed, we need to have, the fencing, and we need to, implement controls, a lot more. But from a privacy perspective, it's very important, as Anchal, as you alluded to, because UAE has now personal and privacy laws which are being implemented. So we're implementing in your corporate world, you need to work together with your technology, with your cyber security, with your risk management, with your data team. And then there's a big version out there when we're trying to implement it in our work environment.
Yeah, and I think there's a similar question from Mr. Jaseen is that with the agentic AI is progressing, do we have any security bodies like OSAP and OSCP? Those are the likes of them are embracing to these changes? That's, I believe the answer is yes, of course.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
OT, right?
Yeah. Correct, Ansel.
Yeah, so Justine, I think just not OSAP and OSCP, I think even the perspective, the guardrails creation of the ISOs and the likes of the AI communities and the regulations are coming into the picture. And those regulations idea is exactly like this, that how can the real ROI of these AI use cases can be brought up in the particular corporate scenarios where data is only not only the limitation, but the security layer, the privacy layer, and of course, so on and so forth. If the agents are going to manage much and more autonomously, how much control the workforce can have on them. If the agent goes rogue, whose responsibility is it? Who is going to own what? I think those critical discussions are already everywhere, and everybody is trying to look at them from their angle, and those are work in progress and pretty much getting materialized in the form of regulatory laws and then the guardrails of the compliance, the industry specific areas. The more you're going to see and connect it in the future. I have a question from Sheriff. Can I get a comparison and benefit in choosing Google Cloud AI other than the other clouds, and why? Except the reason already you mentioned. You mentioned Google to choose for the ease of use and all that, Mr. Jacob. Any other reason or the benefit for Google except others?
Yes, see, in terms of what I found personally is, in terms whenever we want to run any AI or um, any other out-of-the-box integrations, Google supports it natively. They have been the leader in, if you talk about Kubernetes, and they introduced it. There are a lot of things that they have come through. They're very open in it, whereas Microsoft and other tools are far more closed. Just as you to another topic, Anshul, which is from from a cyber security, because there have been a number of questions there. So, if you are interested to pursue AI and inside and cybersecurity, I would urge you to look at ISO 42001 AI certification, which I'm certified. I think so, Sanchal. So that has a lot of additional details. So if you want to implement it, that's something I would strongly encourage you to look at.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that, Jacob. I think uh, you reminded me of you did it, and then of course I followed that one. I think 2020, 2 years back, something. Now another question is that how far again? Interesting question for the audience perspective. And I really like it because these are the kind of engagement can really benefit rest of the members as well. Again, how far did you take AI agents in your own life? Do we trust it, or would we trust it to handle our bank accounts, activities, automate payments, doing personal accounting?
That's an excellent question. I mean,
Yeah,
again, I'm not comfortable that I'm personally, and I'm using it purely at personal level. I'm definitely not comfortable with that. No, you might be, but I'm not. I'm not saying it's good or bad. But that's something currently I'm not. Especially, unfortunately, being wearing a technology and a cybersecurity cap, I
yeah,
see too many. We hear of so many issues out there that we are generally quite uh, averse to, to put or make any undue risk. So emails, I first and how it worked for me is, and something you could consider. We all have our real accounts, and then we may have some dummy accounts for like whatever for Zomato, whatever you use it for. So I had some dummy accounts. I used it there first, and I got
mm,
comfortable. I saw it working. I didn't go and implement it in my life there directly. But that is
mm,
some approach you could look at. But at the moment, banking, financials, no, that's not something I want to draw my life to. But
yeah.
maybe in the future, who knows?
Yeah, no, that's a really honest opinion. I really respect that, Mr. Jacob, that we need to be upfront with what we're comfortable with. And I think
Right.
it totally depends on contextual situation. I think the two areas of health and wealth, people are always
Uh,
trying to connect the things which is in our control to a point. By that matter, since the question came in, I know that at the moment, AI agents are handling the trading accounts for that matter, where we are handling the cryptocurrencies, trading exchanges, and then the commodity exchange, and those are being done, and especially being used. Okay, now the matter of the fact is that still there is the guardrails. This is the guardrails. For
mm,
example, we have put the trade for stop loss, and the trading where we have considered the amount of dollar value. If it goes beyond it, don't do it. Then it will need to
right.
ask me. It need to ask my viewpoint, or it may take me to give me the approval. If it is a penny accounts, we can try it, and especially the day intraday traders are doing it for that matter.
Right.
So people are going and experimenting it. It totally depends on the personal choices and their guardrails, what they're comfortable with. But you are seeing that those are will come sooner down the line where people will learn from their mistakes or their risks or the from around the world what we listen from. So that's what my two
Right.
points around that to wrap this up. But thank you so much. I think I'm not seeing any more further questions coming to us so far. Um, are we keeping the pace in progression happening to AI in cybersecurity? I think the lot of questions around cybersecurity marrying to the AI world, and then the that apprehension is there, Mr. Jacob, from the questions and
Yeah.
the comments I'm seeing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
No, definitely. But yeah, everything comes with the risks and rewards. And so as the AI, and in the AI further forms are evolving at the moment. But really interesting session to start with today, I believe. And with that, I would definitely like to give a big heartfelt thank to Mr. Jacob to come and on board and then showcase his personal payback community thing to us. And then, of course, share the link of the YouTube where you have mentioned this step by step of everything what we're just proposing in the short time. Uh, we are going to conclude the session today, audience, and then I want to thank every participant who joined us across the globe and our volunteers who make this webinar possible, and special recognition to our team members and membership outreach, volunteering, finance, and marketing colleagues, because without them, these webinars are nothing. And our intent is to bring it to reach to your global community side of the thing. So thank you so much, everybody. Remember, the leadership isn't about executing the task again. It's all about inspiring people, navigating complexities, and leaving the legacy of the impact behind you. And that's exactly one of the specimens we've seen today from Mr. Jacob as well. A true measure of a project professional like us isn't the number of projects what you have done in your life, but the difference what you made in the form of team, stakeholders, and the communities around us. So I think with that,
Absolutely.
on behalf of the chapters, and sorry, Jacob, so you were telling something.
I just said absolutely, Anshul. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Yeah.
No, no problem. Yes, I think that was the closing remarks from my side. And on the behalf of the chapter, my colleague Amir and Pratish, this Anchal here, and wishing you a continued success in 2026 and inspiration in your projects. Until the next time, keep learning with a purpose, keep inspiring your teams, and continue your raising your bar in your project excellence throughout the worldwide. Thank you, sir, and goodbye all.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.